Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever woken up from a dream and thought, what was that all about? Well, today we're diving into an ancient spiritual text that has a pretty wild answer. It says your dreams aren't random at all. In fact, they're a detailed map, a roadmap charting your entire inner journey.
I mean, this is a question that's fascinated people forever, right? We all dream. But what if they're not just, random noise from our brains firing off at night? What if there's a hidden language there, a direct line to our deeper consciousness?
Well, believe it or not, there's an ancient Buddhist text, the Maharatnakuta Sutra, that says exactly that. It doesn't just theorize, it actually lays out this incredible system of 108 specific dreams that act like a diagnostic tool, a way to see exactly where you are on a very specific spiritual path.
Okay, so what is this path that the dreams are supposed to be mapping? In Buddhism, it's called the Bodhisattva path, and it's not some vague, fuzzy idea. It's a journey with a very clear blueprint.
Now, a bodhisattva, that's someone who is aiming for enlightenment. But here's the kicker. They're not just doing it for themselves. The goal is to help every single other being out there. And it's not like you just flip a switch and become enlightened. Nope. It's a gradual transformation, one that happens over several really distinct stages. This entire journey is laid out in 10 major stages, or bhumis as they're called. It all kicks off with the joyful stage, which is sparked by this huge first insight, and it goes all the way to the cloud of Dharma, a state of pretty much perfect enlightenment. And this is where the dreams come in.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Those 108 dreams we talked about, they are the signposts on this map. And it's super important to get this. They are not about predicting the future. This isn't fortune telling. Think of it more like a spiritual MRI scan. It reveals exactly where you are, shows you any blockages you might have, and even confirms when you've made real progress.
So let's look at a few examples to see how this works. A lot of these diagnostic dreams involve seeing the Buddha or other sacred objects. But here's the key. The devil is in the details. It's the little things, like the context of the dream, or even what the objects are made of, that matter most.
Get this. Just look at how the meaning of a single symbol, a sacred monument called a stupa, can change completely. If you dream of a simple stupa made of clay, that's a sign you're on the very first stage. And it's super specific. It even points to some past karma you need to work on, like maybe you spoke badly of a spiritual teacher. But if you dream of a stupa that's radiant and covered in jewels, wow, that's a whole different ballgame. It means you've made it all the way to the advanced 7th stage, a sign of incredible progress.
Okay, here's another really powerful one. What could it possibly mean to dream of the Buddha passing away, entering what's called parinirvana? I mean, your first instinct might be to think that's a bad sign, right? But it's not nearly that simple. This right here just perfectly illustrates what this whole system is about. For someone who's not yet at the 5th stage, having this dream is a super precise diagnosis. It points to past karma, like maybe misusing the teachings for personal gain. But, and this is the amazing part, it doesn't just point out the problem. It actually prescribes the cure. It tells you what to do, support your teachers, practice generosity. See, it's a complete system, diagnosis and treatment. Of course, the spiritual path isn't always a walk in the park. It's not always smooth sailing. So a lot of the dreams mentioned in the sutra are actually like early warning systems, flagging the internal obstacles that we really need to pay attention to. Take this dream, for instance. I think a lot of us have had this one. That terrifying feeling of falling and there's just nothing to grab onto. Well, in this spiritual framework, that feeling isn't random anxiety. It has a very, very specific meaning. This kind of dream is pretty typical for someone on the 1st or 2nd stage, and it's basically a big red flag for a wavering mind. It means your conviction, your faith in the path, it isn't stable. And you might be tempted to just give up. So, it's a crystal clear call to action. You need to strengthen your foundation. And here we go again with some really powerful symbolism. Water, in many traditions, represents the mind. So it makes sense, right? Wading through murky, muddy water, that signifies the 1st stage, when your mind is still clouded and confused. But dreaming of walking through crystal clear water, that's a huge milestone. It's a sign you've hit the 5th stage, and it reflects a mind that's become so much more pure and clear. But hey, it's not all about warnings and obstacles. The dream world also gives you these amazing confirmations of your progress. These are the milestones that show you, hey, all that hard work you're doing, it's actually paying off. Like receiving a sacred relic in a dream, That shows a really deep connection to the path. And the system is, again, incredibly specific about this. Dreaming you receive the Buddha's hair, that corresponds to the first stage. The nails, the second stage. And it just keeps going. So you can imagine receiving something like the Buddha's hand or even his crown. Well, that signifies you're at a much, much more advanced stage, like the seventh or eighth.
And how about this dream? You see yourself sitting on the Dharma seat, the teacher's seat, and you're preaching to other people. Now that is a dream of profound empowerment.
This dream is actually a key sign that you've reached the eighth stage, which has this awesome name, the immovable. And it means exactly what it sounds like. Your mind has become so stable, so deeply rooted in wisdom that you're not just a student anymore. You've actually become a reliable guide for others. Okay, so finally, we get to the very top, the pinnacle of the path. After this long, long journey through all the other stages, what in the world does a dream at the 10th and final stage even look like? Well, at this final stage, your dream perfectly reflects a mind that's in almost complete harmony with enlightenment itself. You dream of seeing the Buddha, and he's surrounded by this huge assembly of other advanced bodhisattvas. The message is clear. You've joined their ranks. You've mastered the teachings, and you are right on the verge of full, complete enlightenment. So, okay, after going through all these incredible examples, let's just zoom out for a second. What does this ancient, intricate roadmap really mean for us right here, right now? When you boil it all down, this ancient system presents dreams as a perfect mirror of our inner state. And those subtle details, they're everything. It's this incredibly sophisticated tool for self-awareness that doesn't just diagnose problems, it actually guides us on how to fix them. So the real goal here isn't just to become a dream interpreter, right? It's to use those insights to genuinely grow in wisdom and compassion. You know, the core message here is just so empowering. It's suggesting a direct, tangible link between the work we do on ourselves and the world we experience inside. As you work on yourself during the day, the landscape of your dreams, it will literally change to reflect that progress. How cool is that? And all of this leaves us with a really powerful question to ponder. You know, even if we're not formally on this specific path, this ancient text invites us to look at our own dreams in a totally new light, not as just random static, but as deeply personal feedback from our own minds. So let me ask you, if your dreams really are an inner map, what is your map revealing to you right now?